All right, this is Scott Jordan. You're watching live here at Cellars of Sonoma. I asked a question before the break, and I'll ask it again. If you have an answer and you want to participate, just put your answer on the chat box to the right of the video screen, and Kevin will yell out the answer and see if you get it right. The question is, which of these red grapes generally make a fruity, high alcohol red or rosé? A, Nebbiolo, B, Merlot, C, Grenache, or D, Cabernet Sauvignon? Anybody got a guess? All right. Well, the answer is Grenache. Somebody? No. Well, Dan, good to hear from you. I have a package on its way to you, by the way. It's going to go out temperature-controlled truck, so watch for it. It's actually going to be those of you that have watched our show before, Dan has been a big supporter, and he does some blogging, and I've sent him the current wine club shipment, because what we're going to do is we're going to try to do a live Skype tasting where he's going to taste from home right along with us and do it via Skype and the video here, and we're going to do that at the same time. So we're going to play around with that and check out that technology. But the answer to the question is Grenache, also called Grenache. It's one of the most widely planted grapes in Spain. You see some Grenache here. If you get up to this region, there's several producers making beautiful rosé out of Grenache. Quite nice. So that's what you're going to find in a high alcohol red or rosé wine. You're probably going to find Grenache. But in this example here, you've got Zin, Syrah, Merlot, and really to Dan's point, you really could make it out of anything. In fact, there's a winery over in Napa that makes it out of cab. Probably a little pricey, but it's a fun way to make rosé. So, wow, just the fruity nose to this is magnificent. This is a bigger, more fuller-bodied wine, and I'm going to pour the next one so you can see contrast between the type of grape that you use. Here you're using three pretty deep in color grapes. In the next one, this is James Family Cellars. This is their 2010 rosé, but take a look at that. Let me put a little more in this glass again so you get a little contrast. Can you get a little contrast there, Andy? So take a look at those two, and this is the James. Go ahead and get it. Oh, you're going to try to get the two together? All right. Might help if I had a white background. Let me see if this helps. I'll put this up there. See if that helps. Does that make it? Huh? Yeah? Is that helping? So you can see the difference in color. I mean, it's dramatic. This is James 2010. It's just released today. Very first time. I have not ever had this. I've had the 08 and 09, which we have in the library. Ooh, wow. You guys had this, didn't you? With big fruit coming out of it. Woo. Big nose on this wine. Made from Pinot Noir from their estate. Wow. What I noticed, this is a really light color, but the interesting part about this, as this wine evolves in the bottle, it's actually going to change, and it will actually get a little deeper in color as it gets a little older. It's 2010, a bit of a challenging year. We've had quite a few problems that year, very, very cool year. The fruit here comes from Sonoma coast, so it's typically a cooler region, but last year was very challenging. It took a long time for the grapes to ripen. You get a lot of pear and berry fruits in this wine. Oh, that's beautiful. What a great bottle of wine to have for the summertime. When you come in the tasting room, we have a Think Pink, which is what I'm doing now. The Think Pink tasting, 4 wines. We charge you $10 unless you're a wine club member, and you can then apply that $10 toward any single bottle purchase. So you got to love that. The James Rosé, $18 retail. You got to love that. Our Cellar Club, you get that at $15.30. That's a magnificent all estate fruit. James family has been producing fruit for a long time. In fact, the last 14 years, they've been selling their fruit to Schramsberg for their sparkling wine. Anybody knows anything about sparkling wine knows that Schramsberg probably makes some of the best sparkling wine in the area, next to Amorosa Bella, who does a great sparkling here in the tasting room, which we're going to get to in just a little bit. So James Family Cellars, you can see the Pinot, a much lighter grape. But let's do this. First of all, this is Bono's Los Caneros Rosé. Screw cap, if you see here. I love the screw cap. I think that's awesome. Don't be turned off when you see a screw cap. It's not an issue of quality. It's an issue of preservation. And with the screw cap, not only does it mean I can grab the bottle, open it, not look for my opener, which I never can find, but you know that the wine isn't going to be corked, and that can be devastating in wine. So here we've got Bono's. This is their Los Caneros Pinot Noir. He also put in a little, what else did it? Viognier, I believe. He put a little Viognier. But now what I want you to do is take a look at the color difference, and let me get my white sheet out so you guys understand how significant this is. Whoops, not quite big enough, but you get the idea. Look at the difference in the color between the James and the Bono. Both are from Pinot Noir. So the question then is, how did he come up with that? Well, let me do this. Let me ask you guys a question. We'll take a break, come back on the other side of the break, and I'll answer the question, and I'll answer the why there's such a difference in color. This is a fun question here. Box wines were first invented in A, Japan, B, France, C, United States, or D, Australia. Box wines were first invented in A, Japan, B, France, C, United States, D, Australia. Think about that. We'll be right back.